everyone, welcome back. I really had to think about making this video because I was afraid of giving people the wrong information or useless information or something that would do more harm than being helpful. So I had to really contemplate of making this video, the hand sanitizer and the mask. But it came to a point that I felt it was at least needed in my part to do, because wherever we went we couldn't find anything, at least hand sanitizers we couldn't find anything, or disinfecting wipes we couldn't find any of that. Any of the stores that we went to, they were all out online, they were out of stock, or they were extremely expensive. So I decided to, instead of just avoiding the topic or talking about it, I decided to inform myself a bit more, and I found a few helpful tips that could make this hand sanitizer work. At least in my case, we are only using hand sanitizers when we go out. If we're staying home, obviously we're just washing our hands constantly. Like I said, the only time that I use the hand sanitizer is when I go do groceries or when I'm out doing something. It's the only time that I'm using it. I'm really trying to stay home as much as I can, but yes, that's the only time that we've been using the hand sanitizers. There's a very helpful YouTube video that I watched that gave you the right information. I'll have a link below because it did help me and did clarify a lot of things, and I thought that it would help you guys as well. The one that I'm making today only has 3 ingredients, and I thought the least ingredients the better, because it should have, most of it should be alcohol, and it has to have the right ratio of ingredients or else it's not going to work. It's just going to be applying something that won't work, or that could just be too harsh, or that could harm you. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, as easy as possible, and while at it, inform you guys a bit more. Centers of Disease and Control recommend that you use a hand sanitizer that has at least 60% of alcohol. I know there's a few hand sanitizers out there that don't contain any alcohol at all, which have no benefit in protecting you at all. Make sure that if you're doing one, that it does have alcohol and that the ratio is 60% of alcohol in the final product. After you have mixed everything, it has to contain 60%. I'm gonna leave the website below that helped me figure out the amount that I need of each ingredient to put in the hand sanitizer. It was very helpful. You can actually see everything there. So if you want to add more ingredients, like I said, I only added 3, but the more ingredients you add, the more alcohol you have to add. And I had a bottle that started with 95% of it. After adding everything, I ended up with 69% of alcohol in my final product. But this is just a last minute, like a last resource that you have, because like I said, we were looking out there and we couldn't find anything. Wherever we asked for, they were out. They were out of so many things. So I thought of doing this. Like I said, I was really trying to avoid doing this, but I feel like it's better for me to talk about it instead of just putting it to the side. And the mask, I know that the handmade masks aren't obviously the most helpful, or the ones that are going to protect you the most, I know. But again, now that it has become mandatory for everyone to wear a mask, I feel like this is one of our last resources that we have, is to make our own. And plus, we are having a shortage of masks for the healthcare workers. They are ending with no protective gear because everyone is taking them, because people have hoarded them. And now the people on the front line, they have nothing to be protected with. Some of these people are even reusing their masks over and over and over and over, because they don't have anything, because they haven't been giving new ones. There's many different ways of making masks. There's some that are a bit more complicated. There's some that are really simple and really easy to make. The one that I'm making today, I wouldn't say it's too complicated because it didn't take me that long, but it's not one of the easiest that I have made. Just because I feel like this one protects my face a bit more, since it covers everything, while the other one that I had made just covered this part. And the other one, the last one I made, the one that I'm showing you guys, covers up to here, and it goes wraps around my face. But it's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with making. I mean, the best thing would be to just stay at home, but if you have to go out, like I said, especially now that it's mandatory for people to wear masks, then this is something that you can do, something that you can work with. I'll be getting to the video now, and I'll be speaking through the videos. The past few videos, I haven't been speaking through them. I just let them play. I feel like it's a bit easier to just follow without me talking all the time. But I feel like for this video, in this case, I just feel like I have to inform you guys while I am making it. But let me know if you guys prefer me talking during the videos or just letting them play. Anyways. Alright, thank you. I'll see you next time. The best way to stay safe is to stay at home. If you must go out, then make sure you are washing your hands constantly. If water and soap aren't available, the next best option is hand sanitizer. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, it has to contain at least 60% of alcohol in your final product. Using pure alcohol is not recommended, for it can harm your skin after constant use. In this case, we're using aloe vera to moisturize the skin, since alcohol can be very drying. Vitamin E is optional. I'm using it since it helps protect the skin from damage. It also has moisturizing and healing benefits and helps to strengthen the skin barrier. Since I'll be carrying the hand sanitizer with me, I wanted to put them in small bottles. Since this is not a gel, I would prefer a spray, but I didn't find one, so this will do. Rub the product all over the surface of your hands and let them air dry. Because of the aloe vera and vitamin E oil, your hands are left feeling very soft and moisturized. The pattern for this mask is linked below. This pattern is for a mask with a filter, but since I don't have a filter, I will only use the face mask pattern and the jaw/chin pattern. Because I don't have a filter, I'm using 3 layers of fabric. I have picked 2 layers of patterns that I like for the outside, since this will be a double-sided mask, leaving the plain fabric on the inside. I am folding my fabric in half and placing my cutout patterns on top. Before I start cutting, I want to make sure that my pattern and my fabric stay in place, so I am pinning them together. Before removing the pins, I am marking the notches. While I am cutting all of them here in the video, I realized that because I am not making one with the filter, this step is not necessary, and the only notch that needs to be marked is the nose one. Like mentioned before, this is going to be a double-sided mask, so to make that happen, I am stitching the plain and the succulent fabric together right at the notch that we cut by the nose. Then we will do the same stitching on the single fabric. To make this double-sided, we're going to put both patterns facing each other. So once we stitch, we can flip it inside out. After stitching the notch, we will cut it open so it can be ironed out later. I adjusted the job pattern by making a stitch so it would fit better. Now I will be attaching the chin pattern to the face mask, but for some reason I can't find the clip of me showing it, so I'm showing it through pictures. I started with the face pattern, and on top I placed the chin pattern with the print side facing down so that my printless fabric is facing up. I now pin the middle first and then align the corners with the edge of the face mask. I stitch along the edge that I just pinned. So far, this is how our mask is looking. Once again, I am making both prints face each other, and I will stitch around the mask, leaving one side open to pull the mask inside out. On the stitched side, I have left 2 small spaces where I want my elastic to go. I will now stitch the elastic on both sides. The reason I prefer placing the elastic this way is because having the elastic behind my ear is uncomfortable. I'd rather it go around my head. And we are now done with our mask. I personally like this pattern better because it covers more of my face. The last thing I'm going to do is iron it out so it has a neat finished look. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. Until next time.